Yes, people, welcome back to the Vitesse Youth to Goal save here on FM26. And as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, things are going very well. The tactic we have created that you see on screen right now is absolutely cooking. Now, you guys are probably wondering, how on earth am I still in the job? Well, the GOAT got sacked, and I may have come back in on charge as full-time Kempi because him and the GOAT are two completely separate players, and yeah, we kind of did get sacked. But like I said, the plan was always to kind of do this in February, but I wanted to get the youth intake, so technically I took over at the right time, and we've kind of already started the squad build process, and since I've come in and started my job, I've scored 5 goals and not conceded a single job yet. So apologies that we got sacked. Obviously not ideal in the slightest in the Let's Play. But let's just imagine, in an imaginary universe, the GOAT, he was just here to, you know, a bit like the Ralph Ragnick. Come in, tore the place up, sold all the old players, and now I'm coming in to do... I can't believe I got sacked. I genuinely can't. But, as I said, since then it's gone really well. Against that game against Jong AZ, which the GOAT managed, it was a 3-3 draw, goal from Boussaid and 2 from Adam Tahawai. But ever since the new management structure came into the squad, we have looked fantastic. We have been defensively solid, and we have built a system which gets the best out of our best players, like our brand new man, Boussaid, who looks like an absolute bagsman. And what we've really managed to do is shore up the defence. Now, I did not think that's a sentence I would be saying with this Vitesse side based off the first half of the season. But as you can see in this game, they had a 1.31 XG, but the goalkeeper, the new man Constantine, he's found his hands. And it wasn't just in that game as well. Against Adden and Haag at home, we did a very big smash and grab. 36% possession. They had a 0.56 XG. Haider was fantastic. But in the middle, Mohamed Abdallah was also absolutely brilliant and is growing at an outrageous rate. Now a 3.5-star ability player at just 17 years of age. And the other game was away from home against Jong Utrecht. A penalty from Banis and a goal from Maxi Rodriguez. He is back from his long-term injury, and we were just looking much better. So I thought, in all honesty, I've got to come back and show you guys this tactic because it is working an absolute treat. And then being completely transparent, I'm actually going away for a few days on a little holiday, and I didn't want to miss an upload in terms of this channel. You guys have been absolutely smashing the support. So yes, there is technically an extra episode in this season. There's actually been a few extra episodes that I'd have actually wanted to do. I think past this first season, I'm going to aim for 3 or 4 episodes per season, and then sort of from there really try and get onto it. But I really appreciate the support. You guys have been absolutely smashing it, and I think that's going to be the kind of best way that I find enjoyment from the series, and I hope it sort of progresses things along with the Youth to Gold element. I'm fully aware that if we carry on this sort of 7 or 8 episode trend per season, we're going to be here for about 100 episodes. So we don't want that to happen, but this episode is kind of a bonus episode just so we don't miss an upload because you guys, like I said, have been absolutely smashing the support, and I'm so thankful to everyone. Even the video that came out yesterday as I record this, on over 1,000 views overnight on a Let's Play episode 4, which is incredible. So thank you very much. Now the system we've actually built kind of is because we got lots of strikers now. We've got 4 strikers, and I don't fully believe in any of them, so having 2 up there means there's a bit of a shared load. And then obviously we've got sort of a really strong 3 defenders. Villalba now suits this left centre-back role very much like as Lissandro Martinez, with Stefan on the right role, which again very much suits him over there, with the big man in the middle, Valon Zamberi, as that central centre-back. In DM, we have Adam Tahawai playing as a DLP, and then we've got Markolo in there right this second. He played the last game, but it has actually mainly been Raimov in this DM spot, and he's been pretty impressive for us. A 6.78 so far for him, but I'm really liking him in the match engine. He seems like a really good defensive midfielder. We then have Abdallah as this attacking midfielder just in front, scoring lots of goals, as we've seen. He has now got 4 goals in 12 games and 3 assists, but his recent form has been really strong. And then the right midfield, rather than right wing, we've got Maxwell Rodriguez, just so he starts slightly deeper and isn't as much of that outlet winger as Nawal Banis is. Of course, on that left-hand side as a winger, but with strict instructions to cut inside and dribble more, so he can hopefully get a bit more aggressive. We then have Boussaid as the deep line forward on the right-hand side, dropping into kind of this right half space and linking up the play with Abdella and Rodriguez, with Ifeana Dorgu up front, who still 1 goal in 3 games. Not the best return in the world, but he's doing okay. And of course, we've then got Scaloni and Joao Pinto on the bench as well. Scaloni has won a penalty for us and is actually going up in stats, which I've got to say I'm semi-surprised about, because he's only got 3 determination. But even after, less than a month of being here, his stats are going up at a pretty decent rate. In terms of how we're actually looking to play, we are going direct, we are having a higher tempo, and we are counter-attacking and out of possession. It is a lower line, mid-block, trigger press, get stuck in and trap outside. And because we've got on our defensive team shape here, you can see the tracking wide midfielders. When we are out of possession, we very much drop into a back 5, but them tracking wide midfielders are still quite wide, and they're able to then bomb forward on the counter-attack, which is really, really good. Having Abdella as that sole pressing midfielder has also seemed to work really well. And like I've said, so far we are 3 games deep, 5 goals scored, and not a single goal conceded, which puts us in a pretty good place, because we are now starting off the 4th and final period of this weird little league phase thing. And in the 3rd period, we ended up finishing in 9th place again. And I actually think we've finished in and around 9th, 6th in the 2nd phase, and then 10th in the 1st phase. We've been actually a fairly decent team. I do think the sacking was very harsh. We have now moved off of bottom of the league. That is now Helmand Sport. And realistically, if you add our 12 points on, we're sitting in mid-table with a team which had no license in football less than a year ago. That sacking seems absolutely crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Am I just being a little bit like not thinking it should have happened? But anyway, we are obviously going to start off this brand new league phase, and in today's episode, I want to go through and play these 4 games and just really double check this tactic. And the next episode will be a youth special, a youth to gold special, and then the final episode of this season will be these 3 episodes where hopefully we're pushing to gain a playoff spot, and in that episode will also be any playoff matches if we have any. But like I said, this is kind of like a bonus episode. Ideally, I wanted to come back around this Canberra game and do like another episode, but just purely based on time and the risk of missing an upload, I didn't want to do that. So I hope you guys understand. Let's get into this first game of the season. We're against Almere City, who are a decent little side. In the league overall, they are sitting in 12th place. We are away from home, but it's a game we can certainly win. Like I said, so far this tactic has been absolutely fantastic for me. Hopefully it doesn't let me down today away from home. I'm hoping that front 2 of Scaloni and Boussaid can cause Almere some issues. Like we said, they're about a mid-table side and a team we should be aiming to beat, and we would be ahead of if it wasn't for the points deduction. So let's see what we can do. It looks like we potentially got something straight from kickoff. They had kickoff, but we have won the ball back instantly. And Boussaid beats his man, gets to the byline, finds Maxo Rodriguez, and within 24 seconds, we are 1-0 up. That is exactly what we wanted to see. We literally won the ball back thanks to Abdella with his high press, the pressing central midfielder, found the ball down the line. Boussaid cuts it back in, and Maxo Rodriguez, because he is starting from slightly deeper, he's not making them internal runs in here. He's making late runs into the box, wide open to poke home. Boy, did we miss him last episode. Christ, we could have probably kept our job. And from now, we should be able to shut up shop and not concede a goal. That's what this tactic should be doing. So let's see if that's the case. 9 minutes on the clock. 1 pass gets them straight into their right winger, which is a bit scary. And he's able just to drive through the midfield. But a long-range effort, Constantine, he's a confident lad. He's parried it down, he's brought it down, he's then built up the play. I mean, that is outrageous. Constantine, you scare me a lot. A set piece is going to be what brings this tactic down. Hopefully not. We are 3 games without conceding a goal. But a set piece is what gets it. Milan Dihan scores on the 12th minute. And 21 minutes on the clock, it is Almere once again. A long switch out to that right-hand side. Pulls it back in. Rykov, Dehan blocked on the line. Baumont, well done, lads. That's the fight and passion that we have brought back to this team. And it's now our turn with a corner to hopefully find Marcus Stefan at the back post. Was that, I think that's actually Shrikan, or is that Rykov? I was going to say, because Shrikoya, look at him doing the chicken dance, and then his leg just extended. Shrikoya is playing for Almere, and I thought he was actually the man marking him, but I believe he is somewhere in the middle there. Look at him, he tried to get over there. Unlucky, mate, you little old head. It's all about youth to gold here at Vitesse. Little old head could be the worst comeback I've ever had in my life. There's no way. There's actually no way I literally just have a sip of coffee because there's no way we score 2 goals directly from kickoff in the same game. And within 15 seconds, Nahawan Banis has just chucked one in the box to absolutely nobody. And Boussaïd is just there to just head it in. The keeper was indecisive. And it's 3-1. These guys just needed a little bit of full-time Kempi to be the manager and not Strakoya. Strakoya? Not the GOAT even. To clearly fix them up and look sharp, because that's exactly what's happening right now. Abdella with a challenge, and then look, we'll just counter-attack. There was a comment about a 5-back system. I didn't, we didn't put his tactic in there or anything, but I thought, you know what? We'll use a 5-back and we'll see if it works. And to be fair, I wouldn't even say we're using a 5-back. The tactic is very clearly quite aggressive, and it's working an absolute wonder. We nearly just scored again. I don't know what it is about this tactic and this team currently, but something is just ticking. Look at that. Zamberi stepping out lovely, intercepting the pass straight into the strikers, and it's quick. It's aggressive football. Max Rodriguez down the right-hand side, drills it low, and Fausto Scaloni is there for his first goal for the club. The San Marino international striker makes it 4. Are we going to concede our first open play goal, or are we going to be defensively strong? Rykov, that's a lovely little move to Providence, whips it in the back post. He's wide open, Ryan Bergering to make it 4-2. Burger, like Cal Freeze at the back post, but 4-2. That's fine, look. We fell asleep for the end there. 4-2 victory. And if you just remember back to the start of the season, the sort of formation we were playing, the sort of tactics we were playing, were very much that intricate little deep-lying forward attacking midfielder. We were trying to be a bit too fancy and a bit too clever. As we just saw in that game, sometimes a little bit of direct movement straight into the striker, counter-attacking football can work. We had 16 shots compared to their 23. We had 8 on target. They had more XG. They had more possession. But the aggression and the striking power of this front two is enough to get the victory. And we kick off the 4th phase with a win. And next up is Willem II. And there is no need to change a winning team, so we keep the same 11 as we go into this game. And this first half hour has very much just been Willem keeping possession, which I'm absolutely fine with, unless they score. But to be honest, possession isn't what I'm interested in. I think that's something we've moved away from now under the new management style. Wink, wink, smiley face. And going more of like a direct attacking football. I mean, even the tiny bit we saw from that highlight was just absolute hoofball. Not exactly what I want to see, but more direct and counter-attacking is. And at half-time, that is kind of the exact sort of game which I really don't mind. We're staying in it against a team which are quite a fair bit better than us. We haven't really managed to break out yet, and we're having 29% possession of the ball. I'm fine with that. Sometimes in football, it's not about winning every game in a beautiful style of flashing. Look at Diego Simeone, built a whole career by being hard to break down and wins trophies by doing it. Hopefully that's something we can do eventually here in Vitesse. I mean, it is Scaloni all alone up there, but everyone is now here, and that was just one through ball, and he was in behind. Villalba driving on the left-hand side, finds now Albanis to Abdella with a long-range effort, and I thought that was a screamer just wide of the mark, and that's how quick we can go and get a team. Long ball forward, down the line, striker sets it back, work a little bit of play, and we nearly score. And it looks like things aren't done either as Scaloni again down that left-hand side, causing issues for Willem. Finds Abdella in the box, and it is 1-0. Literally won the ball back, ball down the line. Scaloni whipped it in, and Mo Abdella was there once again. He has been fantastic since bringing him into the first team as that starting midfielder, rather than Nino Zuneveld. He has been absolutely fantastic. Scaloni as well. What a ball in. Abdella with a vision, and puts it in the top bins. 1-0. The last thing we need is a set piece to break our hearts again, and it's a great win there from Boussaïd, and he gets out to close down the cross, but the ball does come into the back post, heads down for Lakar, and he puts it wide of the mark. Fresh legs are on, and hopefully, because now I've managed to bring in a bunch of sort of better rotational players, they can help us throughout the second half of this season. And in this 4th league phase, I mean, that's an outrageous ball up there from Zamberi over the top. But you talk about direct football, that was it. Boussaïd gets the flick-on header, it hits the post. And that is exactly what we're looking to see. I love this chaos football that we are now starting to do. Skaluba on the pitch. Tawai finds Villalba back there as the left ball playing centre-back. Not many options for him, but does find Markolo. Abdella, Boussaïd, back into Markolo. Tawai, ball over the top. Can Hugoworth get there? Not quite, but it's a throw-in. And now with 10 minutes to go, we are in waste time mode, taking as much time from set pieces as possible. hopefully... Oh, Marcelo, that's fantastic. I mean, I don't care that he took the effort on from there. Being that screen defensive midfielder, winning it back, that is fantastic. For the last 10 minutes, he is a brilliant defensive midfield substitution. We just need to stay strong for another 10 minutes. It is Bamba down the right-hand side for them, driving down to the byline, gets a back post crossing, brings it down. You know what? That new animation they've brought in where they knock it down with their head and control it, we've just conceded from it, but it is beautiful. That was actually really nice to see in the match engine work like that. Even though we've conceded, just look at the way this column here brings it down with his head for a bit of control and then volleys it back in. I mean, fair play. It's a lovely move, lovely finish, and it's 1-1. Are we going to see a late winner from either side? It is ourselves on the ball. Linking up play. Peppers tries something long, but wins it back. Finds Pinto. Pinto to Hugerworth. Hugerworth drives all the way to the left. Oh, that's a silly effort, isn't it? He puts it wide. Was that it, or was it just the start of this next highlight? I mean, if we can win the ball back, I'm happy for it to be that way. If they're going to just cut through us in 3 or 4 passes, I'd rather the highlight just ended pretty quickly. Van Alst finds Latkar, ball down the line. That's where we're kind of left open. Van Alst beats his man. Oh, it's a great little turn back. Kaju finds Forshaw in the middle. Back to Latkar. They're fielding up a nice bit of play. We are sitting deep though now. We've got players in the box and now, I thought we were going to counter. I thought that was it. Set up perfectly. Kaju. Hoogma. Kaju. Van Alst. Space is there. Oh, look how many players we've got in the box. It's a long range effort. It hits the post. But just look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players in the box. You just can't get through that without taking a punt from distance. And in the end, it gets us a 1-1 draw against one of the better teams in the league, the favourites at the very start of the season. So a result I'm very, very happy with. Well, it was going very well until we played against my idol's son, Liam van Nistelrooy and Sami Buhadane at PSV. These two up front are simply just not fair in this division, especially Sami. This is one of the best wonder kid strikers on Football Manager last year and this year. No surprise he's just grabbed, I think, 2 against us. And then Liam van Nistelrooy is just another Dutch wonderkid striker that spawned out of, well, one of the best strikers in world football of Van Nistelrooy. Like I said, my absolute idol, my favourite striker when I was growing up as a kid was Van Nistelrooy. Now his son's on Football Manager. First of all, that makes me feel very, very old. Second of all, I'm quite sad I've just played against him because they beat us 4-0. Yeah, the defensive, work of this tactic has just been completely destroyed in this one game. So to finish off this episode, let's try and see if we can do anything against MVV Maastricht, a team which we have beat 4-1 this season, but are also the second best team in the league. I would actually be really interested to hear some of the thoughts of people that watch the sort of second tier in Holland. If you're an FC Eindhoven fan or a Vitesse fan or anyone in the second tier of Holland, what do you think about these young/B teams being in this league? Because theoretically, right, Sami Buhadane has played, let's just have a look. He's played 5 games in the Eredivisie and 5 games in the Champions League this season. Yet he's now playing in the second tier where he comes in and just bags, a double against us and links up with some of the best young players in the game. It's not even just him. This Noah Fernandez just absolutely tore us apart. Also played in the Champions League this season and then comes into the second tier of Dutch football. It feels a bit frustrating as a manager in this league to have to play against some of these top-end players like a Liam van Nistelrooy. I feel like I've got to make a video trying to make Liam van Nistelrooy better than his dad. Now, thanks to players being called up by their international teams, we are missing out on Scaloni, Mohamed Abdallah and Ronke van der Poel on the bench, as Scaloni is off to San Marino's first team, with the other 2 then going to the Dutch under-18s, which is pretty awesome. This is a huge, huge game because this keeps us in contention to win in the playoffs. If we lose this game, well, yeah, the playoff dream is certainly over and we'll just move on pretty much in terms of gameplay to next season, with next episode being all about the youth intake and the end of the season. If we get a result here though, there's a chance that we are going to be able to get a playoff spot. Another corner ball for MVV, whipped in. Stefan does get the head away, but it's a long range effort and it drops to someone and he pokes it home. I feel like that could be like a little bit of a, not a bug per se, but a little match engine change of players just don't close down when a ball is open in the box as much. There was a big change to like strikers not reacting when the ball like hits the crossbar or anything. But this here, who's this? Busaid and even Raimov. I mean, to be fair, they both did go to close it down. He was just wide open in space. But I feel like a set piece kind of really like looking into set pieces and doing some research into it is something I need to do, not only for this save, but like as a Patreon perk, as getting the best set pieces together. Because defensively from set pieces, I feel like we just get, well, that's the only way we really concede normally, which is frustrating. Let's see if we can get back into this game with the Superman, Maxi Rodriguez, down the right-hand side. I tell you what, we've not seen in a while, a back post cross to Banis. Are we going to see it now? We're not. We're going to see some lovely link-up play, and it hits the post. Banis does get a head on it, and he puts it wide. That was beautiful from Adam, but hitting the post. Well-worked move, though, from Maxwell. Still so surprised at how good he has been for us this season. MVV on the counter. A good switch out to Liberici. Sets it back to Brugelmans. Into Liberici. Back post. Well done, Stefan. That's an absolute worldie. That's an absolute worldie from Nabil El-Bassri. That is ridiculous. That's on the volley, on his left foot. Just dropped down to him, and he's just absolutely hits a perler into the top corner. I mean, again, it's just something like off the crossbar or a header clear, and he's just hit that first time. Oh, it's ridiculous. I don't know what it is, but I feel like we've been found out a little bit here. We just had that 4-0 against PSV, and now MVV are 3-0 up in 42 minutes. I mean, this is the second best team in the league, and Jong PSV are playing basically the bloody PSV best team against me in the second tier. But it's not a good showing for the tactic of back-to-back games of potentially getting 4 goals, because that's just a wonderful work set piece. We've definitely been found out a little bit, and of course this episode is all about how fantastic the tactics are. Finishing off with 2 big losses would not be good. I do feel like we've actually been enough in this game to warrant, you know, not being too angry at the tactic. There's been a shot off the post which dropped someone in the box. There's been a worldie of an effort from the edge of the box, and then, yeah, I can't even remember the third goal, to be honest. But we've been in the game enough to not think the tactic's not working. We are losing 2 of our better players in Abdella and Scaloni in the team as well. Just sort of come at a bit of a bad time, really, hasn't it? Let's see, though, if we can get back into this. I've gone attacking. I've made a slight defensive change as well. And Busaid is going to go alone. We're not even going to see him with the ball in, apparently. Yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. Realistically, the way we finished last episode, where, I mean, really, we got sacked, didn't we? To now be in a position where things aren't all doom and gloom. We have cleared out all the old players, and the young players are progressing well, is a really good sign. Back-to-back 4-0s does hurt, especially as this is titled and thumbnailed around the fact of this tactic absolutely cooked and we've turned everything around. To then lose 4-0, maybe 5-0 at the end, isn't great. I'm fully aware. But, I mean, yeah. I can't really change it from here, can I? Because the first 3 games were fantastic. We then won 4-2. We then drew away from home in a really difficult game. And then just got battered in the last 2. Like, and when I say battered, I mean just absolutely destroyed in both games. Even then, though, they've only had a 1.32 XG. I mean, I'm not even gonna blame Constantine because there's been worldies in this game throughout. Yeah, look, it's not a great look, is it? But I do think this tactic has turned things around dramatically, and to apologise for the fact of 2 back-to-back 4-0 losses. If you've made it to this point in the video, well, I'll show you a little sneak peek of the youth preview, shall I? One thing I will say very quickly as well is training-wise, everyone's training at a really good rate, which means we're getting some really good progression from some of the players which are starting a bunch of games. It's quite clear that if they're not starting too many games, their progression isn't fantastic, but the players that are starting are doing really, really well for us. And even Constantine, he's doing okay in goal. Londar at centre-back, the 19-year-old now, he's progressing a little bit as well. And Banis is doing really well for his progression. At 24 years of age, I didn't really expect him to grow as much as he kind of has. Now, the youth intake is in a 9 days' time, and like we've said, it is set to be a 4.5 star thing. So I'm going to go away, play this game against Canberra away from camera, and then give you guys a sneak peek because well, it hasn't ended fantastically, has it? Well, I'm very happy that this is actually an extra episode that I've recorded here because, I mean, next episode is going to be the end of the season as there is no hope of promotion this year as we have literally just drew another game. So, yeah. It's all about the youth intake next episode and the end of the season. But like I said, you guys can experience this very important click with me. The first youth intake, please be good. 6 elite prospects. Remains these players led by the very gifted Eric Brunsema for real chance of developing into a golden generation for the club. Ladies and gentlemen, there are six players. I'm going to show you 3 of them. Not going to show you Eric Brunsema. We're going to start with Axel Van Doren. 5 determination. Goalkeeper. We did see that there was meant to be goalkeepers and strikers. 5-star potential. 1.5-star ability right now. Good handling. Decent enough reflexes. Good command of area. Good jumping reach. Good height. Not awful. For the first one, not awful. Mike Brunick. He's a striker. 17 determination. 13 finishing, 6 composure, decent speed, good technique. 1 marking, 1 tackling's fine. 5 passing's not great. 7 heading, 17 determination on the lad, and 3 strength. Mike, you could be fantastic. And then finally, we know Eric is the star. We'll look at Nick Shrafsma. He's a striker as well. 12 finishing, 11 first touch, 10 determination, 2 concentration, but 8 composure, 14 aggression, 12 work rate. Another 5-star player. I can't help myself. How good's Eric? Eric's fantastic. Eric's absolutely fantastic. Right, that's enough. That's enough. How good's Stefano? Also quite good as a right wing back. That's enough. That's enough. Make sure you come back next episode. You can see the whole youth intake. I think it's going to be a big win. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll speak to you guys next time.